Hey guys, I'm just making a quick video on the nodes I have and the nodes I would suggest to other people for processing, trading, alchemy, and potentially cooking, even though I don't do cooking. So we're going to go over to Trent to start everything off. Say at Trent, we're going to get the storage node first, or storage workshop first. If you do fishing or if you do mushrooms and you want to do those crates, you can, but I personally only use it for storage. So we're going to go over to here, get a mineral workbench for steel crates and bronze, potentially zinc. A lot of crates that use that. Wood workbench for Calpheon crates and other crates like Mediah. And then we're going to go over here to lodging. Lodging in Trent, super important. So if you can spend pearls to buy 3 extra workers, Calpheon workers, it'll really help you out. Let's go up from Trent to Lumberjack area, and we're going to get the cedar timber node for the Calpheon crates, up to abandoned, tree and forest, and fir timber also for Calpheon crates. Go up there and all the way to Mancha Forest, and we have another fir timber node, but this one has fir sap, which is good for alchemy. We're going to go to Rhythm Outstation. So this is an optional node. It'll be something you invest in after we get all your main stuff down. So if you have leftover CP, invest in tin node, and you can make bronze crates as well as steel and Calpheon. Let's go down here to Longleaf. This is going to be your second wood workbench, so it's very important. And then extra lodging over here. You're going to keep going Cryoville to Longleaf. So at Longleaf, another cedar node, cedar sap, and we're going to go to Bear. Bear is going to be another town where you're going to want to buy lodging, because lodging for Bear, lodging for Longleaf, and lodging for Trent all goes for Trent lodging. So go to Bear. We're going to go over to Wood Workbench. That's your third Wood Workbench. Another storage, because you have to, unless you want carpentry or something. And then mineral workbench, there's second mineral workbench. For mineral workbenches, you're actually going to be able to use a guy called, let me get him up, Beverant, right down here, or Bravant. He's one of those workers, an Amity worker. I don't remember exactly which NPC, but you can just Google his name and it'll show the NPC, and you just play an Amity game. You can buy him. You can buy as many as you want, but you only need 2. The reason you want him, though, is because he has additional processing +2 when making an ore crate, which is just super, super important, because you're able to not only make 1 ore crate, you're able to make 3 ore crates at a time for every Beverant worker. It's just really good. So we're going to go back to Bear. Now that I said that, I'm going to show you Bear Downstream and then Bear Riverhead. This is just going to be on our way to connecting all this to Calpheon. So the tin ore is another optional node, so don't get that until the end. If you have leftover, Phony's Cabin, non-optional. You need this. Fir timber and fir sap, both great for alchemy and for processing, trading. Go up to North Kaya and Garabon Farm, and we'll be connected to Calpheon. So now we've connected Trent to Bear to Calpheon. So from Calpheon, we're going to get a couple more nodes that we need for the Calpheon timber box. And that's going to be up to Abandoned Land, to Isolated, all the way to Quint Hill. Quint Hill is going to have birch timber. It's great. You don't need the lead ore, but you do want birch timber. Go back to Calpheon, and we're going to go over to Dia's farm to Northern Wheat Plantation. So this is, with my little cooking experience, I know, but you can use barley and wheat for beer. So if you're doing cooking, you're making beer, these are 1 CP nodes, super cheap, you can invest in, and they're on the way towards more important nodes, like this one. If you do alchemy, very, very important. Trace of Forest, super, super valuable. And then up here, for processing and trading, birch. It's very, very valuable node. Like all the other nodes, there's 3 birch, 3 cedar, 3 fir. So this is the 3rd birch, I believe. You don't need the tiger mushroom, that's an extra if you're just sitting on it. Sitting on CP. So we're going to go back to Northern Wheat Plantation. I'm going to go over here to Old Dandelion. Another birch timber. Okay, so that's the 3rd birch timber. So you want that. And then up is an optional tin ore node for the bronze that you can make if you have leftover CP. So we're going to go back to Calpheon and then down to Dirt Farm. So at Dirt Farm, I go down here. You don't have to go down here because this is like 9 extra CP. In fact, I don't suggest you go down here because it's just a lot more CP than it's worth. Because all you're getting going down here is the coal node and an Emperor Mushroom node for alchemy. The main reason I go down here is for the coal node, though. There's 3 coal nodes. That one's super expensive. It's just not worth it unless you're just sitting on CP. So we're going to keep going over this way to Marnie Farm, to Oz Pass. Oz Pass, important. It's another cedar node. So that'll be all of your Calpheon timber. And then you're going to go to Bardi Fortress, to Northern Plain, get the maple timber. Super good. Lynch Farm Ruins. You're going to want Trace of Savagery, one of the most valuable traces in the game. And then you're going to go up to here. If you're doing cooking, you want this. Hands down, this is very important, cooking honey. If you're not doing cooking, it's just kind of an extra node you get at the end. And that's going to connect you to Hideout. So let me just go back really quick to show you one node I didn't quite cover on. That's Keplan Quarry. Just right from Keplan, it's just a coal node. You'll need that for steel, so you want to get that. And you get a free worker in Keplan anyway, so it's free. Then we're going to go over, so we have Hideout connected. So before we go over into Mediah, we're just going to go right up to where everything starts, to Olvia. So Olvia nodes, they're good, but at the same time they don't offer as much as other nodes. So like for example, we'll go to Whale Farm and Termain Cliff. Termain Cliff, you just get copper ore. But at another node like this one, you'd get copper ore and powder of flame. So if you're running low on CP and you don't really need the copper ore because you're looking at your materials and what you're getting, you're like, oh, I don't need this copper ore, so I have too much. Make sure to not get this node, but to get this node instead over here, because it's just copper cheaper. So I went over that. So Olvia, you want Costa Farm. If you're cooking, you need this. If you're not cooking, it's extra. Great. Down here, Wolf Hill, another kind of situation, Ash Timber. There's other Ash Timber nodes. I suggest you get this, but if you don't have the CP, don't worry about it. You're not getting as much as the other node. I have this connected. I do alchemy here. I gather at Olvia Coast. If you don't gather at Olvia Coast, most people don't, you won't need this node and you won't need this node. Connecting all your towns together isn't worth the CP than just having them not connected and using that CP to actually make money elsewhere. So don't worry about connecting all your towns. That doesn't matter. The only town that you need to connect is Trent to Valencia for M2. Everything else is, you don't need to. So let me go from Velia now. Velia, you're going to go to Coastal Cave. You want the iron node and you want the copper node. Then you're going to go up to Coastal Cliff and you want the iron node, but you don't want the fortune teller node unless you just have extra CP or you have a worker somewhere else that you don't need. So we'll go back down to Velia, and then this is where you get a kind of a branching path of what you'd rather do. If you're more into cooking, you want Finto Farm because you can get potatoes, which are good for beer, and you can get chicken meat and eggs, which is good for good feed and a couple other things. And then you're going to go to Athwaz Hill, and you're going to get Ash Timber with Ash Sap. If you're more into alchemy and you don't really want to cook, don't go through Finto Farm. Instead, go through Forest of Plunder, because you can get arrow mushrooms, which is used for demi-human elixirs, which you can use for imperial trade, for alchemy. Regardless, though, you're going to have to go this way down to Goblin Cave to get ash timber and copper ore. So if you're into cooking, get this extra. If not, just go down here, but don't get the arrow mushroom. So we're going to go over here, back to Velia. Bartle Farms, another one. If you like cooking, good. Potatoes, great. Chicken meat's great. Super good if you're into cooking. If not, you can just ignore it. It's not even worth the money. In Balinus Forest, ash timber, great. You need that. Toski Farms, nothing. But nothing gather-wise, but you do want the lodging here. Super valuable. You're going to go to Forest of Seclusion, and you want both of these nodes, copper and maple. You're going to go up to Western Guard Camp and Imp Cave, and then these are both two good copper nodes. So you're pretty much done with this area. Pretty much all pre-Mediah is over with. We just have to connect Hideout to Mediah. So we're going to do that by going down through here. This is another optional node. Just get it at the end if you have extra. And then go to Eastern Gateway and Castle Ruins. And you do want this one for sure, though. It's maple timber. You need that for Serendia crates. So before I forget, over here as well, Glish, super cheap iron node, and if the extra cloud mushroom for alchemy if you're into that. So I was over here. So Castle Ruins splits off into two paths. One path is Kama Sylvia Temple, two nodes that are just extra, and then Ruins Excavation Site and Ancient Fissure, which is a zinc node. I suggest you get that zinc node, but it's a little more expensive than the other zinc nodes. So if you have to skip out on the zinc node, skip out on this one. Okay, so we're going to go up Canyon of Corruption to Elric Shrine to get White Cedar. Go up to here, and we'll get Maple Timber and White Cedar again. And then the final one over here is Stonetail for RCS Timber. This is for the Mediah crate. Those 2 timbers. The Maple Timber is for Serendia crate over there. So you're done with that area. So we're going to go back to Castle Ruins, down to Soldier's Grave, to Tariff, and we're just going to kind of follow this path up to Omar Lava Cave because you want both of these nodes. This one gives you coal for steel. This one gives you zinc and platinum, which are for a couple other things. So we're going to go down to Highland Junction to connect Altanova entrance. So that's going to connect you to Altanova, and you're just going to get this last node in Mediah, or last 2 nodes rather, which is zinc and iron. Super valuable. Gives you platinum ore and gives you rough black crystals. So you now have all the way from Trent to Altanova connected. The way I go is kind of stupid unless you have like 330 CP and you've bought with real money all your storage and all your workers. If you've done that, then great. You can go this crazy way I've done. But first I'm going to show you the way that I suggest you go because most people aren't going to throw $100 into the game for a node empire. So we're going to go all the way back to Velia, and we're going to take the sea route to connect Velia to Valencia. So we'll go from Velia to Olvia Island, and we're going to take a couple of these islands up to Ilia Island, and then we're going to shoot up past Ilia Island to Sasha, to Raven, and we're going to, I don't think I have all the nodes or all the islands here, but you're going to, if you want to get the cheap way, you're going to have to get all the islands. So you're going to get the islands that lead from here-ish to all the way over here at Anakana Inner. Once you reach Anakana Inner, you only have to invest in Rakshan Observatory, and you'll be right at Valencia, and then you'll have your full stuff for M2, and you'll be ready to take your Leader's Guild summon, right? So you're pretty much done. Everything that's like really required for M2 and making 2 to 3 bill a month, just almost 100% AFK, is given to you right here. This is all you need. But there's extra stuff you can get. Other than these stuff I've already shown you extra, there's more. So we're going to go over to Valencia. Now, over in Valencia, you can connect this node here. This node is, I believe, the most valuable node for CP in the game. Like, for pure silver value. So you can sell the palm timber and you can sell the coconuts. Palm planks will not sell, which sucks. So do not process your palm timber. Keep it, sell it. Sell the palm timber as is, sell the coconuts as is. It's for both of these nodes. And you can also connect to Arihaza. If you're not M2 yet, I suggest you sell your crates in Arihaza because distance equals XP, and you'll get more of a distance bonus from Trent to Arihaza than you will from Trent to Valencia. You'll get more money in Valencia with M2 buff, but until you have that, you're going to make more money and more XP in Arihaza. So once you get Arihaza, you're going to go up Northern Sand Dune to right here, which is the volcano. So you're going to want this for titanium ore for titanium crates and Vandian ore for Vandian crates. Go up to here, same thing, titanium ore over to here, Vandian ore, and down here is personal. It's for grinding map. I still haven't even invested in it. And then you can go to the left here if you're really into alchemy to Ivy Cliff, and you can get arrow mushrooms. But if you don't do alchemy, you don't have to get either of those two. So I'm just going to show you the reason I take this crazy path that costs way too much CP than it's worth. It's because I go down here and I get Pilaku. So I don't know if level actually helps, but I like to believe it does. So I get that. And then down over here, we have Tidium Valley is where I get another palm timber node and palm sap node. So then we're going to go all the way up to here to Sanctum, to Akhman, which is good for grinding compass. So I haven't leveled it up, but it's good to have if that does even work. And then we go to Crescent Mountains, where you get another iron node and you get black crystals, which is very good. And Powder of Darkness for alchemy is super good as well. And then you're going to go down here to Crescent Shrine and get the final titanium ore. This is only if you're going my crazy way and not taking the ocean, but that's what I do. And then I go around this path that connects to Altanova. Don't get this node, by the way, if you saw it. That's a really bad node. I have to invest in it. So that's the way I connect. I showed you the way that you should connect, unless you're just sitting on CP. But this is pretty much all you're going to need. The only extra stuff you can do is if you have a farm in Calpheon, that's where you're chopping all your wood, you can buy a crop factory and make crates out of what you're farming. You can use your hard black crystal shards and clown's blood and a couple other stuff like that, and you can make grade 3 reform stones. Weapon reform stones specifically are a lot easier to make than armor. Other than that, it's pretty much just making brass with the tin from over here, and just a couple other little things that you'll be able to see everything you need to do after you get all your materials, and you can just look up exactly what it is. But the main things you'll be processing or making are the Calpheon crate, the Mediah crate, and the Balanos or Serendia. I don't do pine, so I only do Balanos. So I suggest Balanos because that's ash and maple. So you're gonna be making Balanos, Calpheon, Mediah for wood crates, and then for mineral crates you'll be making quite a few things: brass, bronze, steel, Vandium, and titanium. Other than that, you should be set. I mean, this is going to really set you up to make 2 to 3 bill a month if you just invest in these nodes. So I really hope this helped. If not, I'm sorry, but have a nice day.